Mareka, you're wondering who would be the next leopard queen of Djuma? I'm not 100% sure, actually. I really am hoping that it's a young female. So no matter what happens, if we could get one of the younger females, that would be absolutely perfect, because as much as I love Tundi and Shadow, and I really like to see them often, and Tundi is my favorite leopard, they are slightly older leopards. They're 10 years old, and that means that, in time they're going to be, well, not long now, they're going to be in a similar situation as Karula. They're going to be older, and there's a possibility that they're going to disappear. So it would be nice for the sort of legacy to continue, and for a young female like Shongile to really take over. So I think for me, I would love it if Shongile was, because that would just continue this whole epic story that is followed on from, Karula, following on from Safari, and so we could get this whole sort of situation going and keep up with them as they go forward and the generations continue. If not Shongile, then my other one that I would really like to see settle here would be Tiani, which is Salahesh's daughter. But I think Tiani seems like she's pushing into Londolozi quite a bit now. They've been seeing her a lot that side, so I don't think she's going to come this way, which is a bit of a shame, because she's such a beautiful leopard, and it would have been really nice to see her, because ultimately she's also sort of from the same lineage as Karula, because Safari and Salahesh's mom were sisters, so they were in some way related, so it would still be that sort of royal bloodline that would be this side. So one of those two would be my ideal two to come into this area, and hopefully they would stick around, and both of them being young females would mean that we'd get lots and lots of years of time with them. So Tiani is now approaching 3 years old, whereas Shongile, as we know, is still about 1.5 years old, so, or just under 1.5 years. So both of those would be leopards that would spend a lot of time here. I think Tiani is of a better age to find sort of territory in this area now. She's at the age where she's going to start mating soon and setting up a territory for herself. Shongile is still a little bit young to be actually setting up a territory, but given that there's no real other females pushing in from the north at this stage, it means that, she might be able to find this territory and stay in it and just get lucky. It's not to say that Karula won't show up. Who knows? She's that kind of leopard that, the days are going, and it's more and more likely that she's no longer around, but you never know with her. She could just be somewhere, somehow, in the Manyaleti, and no one's found her, and she's just going to randomly, out of nowhere, pop up somewhere, which would be pretty much like she is really. She was that kind of leopard that kind of surprised you at the best of times. So I wouldn't be surprised she does turn up again, but like we've said, every day that goes past, it's more and more likely that she's no longer with us. So, but in terms of succeeding her, one of those two females would be my bet. I'm so busy talking.
Right, we are now just doing a little walking segment at the moment on a beautiful game path. And you can see our fearless leader up in front there, to Tristan's topic of discussion, which of course was the legacy of the great queen herself. First of all, as he said, she might pop up. Yes, she might. That is becoming more and more a hope that we all have, rather than an actual possibility as the days go by. But yes, it's not impossible. It's but it's not impossible. Who is going to take over from her? I don't really have a huge amount to add to what Tristan said, because I think that Tristan is probably correct. I think that Tiani, except Tiani is not from here, so Tiani is, to my mind, an outside bet. And I think what you might find, because Shongile is not quite old enough yet to take a territory, I think what you might find is that at this stage, her territory is rather just going to start to shrink. Sorry, I'm getting a little warm. So instead of this being a vacant area, I think it's just going to be encroached from both sides. And I think you'll find Shadow, who has always experienced, or certainly quite a lot, experienced pressure from the likes of Salaheshe. She might choose to come further this way. This is her natal territory. This is where she was born. She might choose to come down here a bit more. And at the same time, Tundi is going to come from the southeast, and she's already started spending much more time around here. But to me, what's also interesting about that is that Sebastian was saying to me the other day that when he and, his wife used to work at Chitwa, and so he used to go and visit there quite often. When he was first here, that was when they saw Shadow and Thandi as youngsters. It was on Chitwa, it wasn't here, which means that Karula's territory has shifted quite a lot over the years, and I suspect it's got quite a lot bigger. She had an enormous territory, by my reckoning, for a female leopard of this area. It extended into the northern parts of Chitwa. It was basically the whole of Djuma. It went a little bit into Torchwood. It sometimes went into Arathusa, but it was pretty much the cut line between Arathusa and here. And then it went into Biffle's Hook. So she had a vast, vast area. And I don't think that area is going to be filled by one leopard at this stage. I think it'll just get smaller from all sides. And with any luck, in the core of it, eventually Shongile will end up. So that's what I think is going to happen. And I mean, this would be much easier to actually draw for you, but I'm not going to try and do that as we walk through this grass. So that's my opinion on what's going to happen with the Queen. Yeah, so I mean, it's all very interesting, and of course it'll be fascinating to come back here in 3 months and see how things have changed.